Hello, my name is Dustin Calvert, and I chose to do my capstone project on addiction. When we first had to submit our proposal for the project, I didn't know what I wanted to do my project on. I was initially drawn to this class to learn about drug and alcohol abuse, hoping to learn about addiction. When I submitted my proposal, I didn't know how to propose the topic suggestion. I simply submitted a statement telling our instructor that I wanted to learn about addiction and how it happens or manifests within. Lucky for me, my topic was refined and approved by our instructor, the neurophysiology of addiction. I wanted to learn about addiction because I grew up around it and unfortunately lost some relatives to the disease. I grew up denying that addiction was a disease and instead merely just a choice to continue using a drug or substance. Drugabuse.gov defined addiction as a chronic disease characterized by drug seeking and use that is compulsive or difficult to control despite harmful consequences. Drug addiction is a chronic relapsing disorder that is comprised of three stages: preoccupation, anticipation, binge intoxication, and withdrawal negative effect, and each stage feeds into one another. The way I interpret that is, in stage one, your thoughts are preoccupied by the anticipation of when the next time you're going to get to use your drug of choice. In stage two, you acquire the drug and use that drug until it is all gone. Stage three is the withdrawal and negative effects of the drug when it begins to wear off. Your body goes through whatever withdrawals are associated with the drug while your body is metabolizing and processing the drug out of your system. It seems like a vicious cycle. People have the tendency to take more of the drug to get rid of the withdrawals, and by doing so, the cycle starts over. A statistic from the National Institute on Drug Abuse in 2015 stated that the cost of addiction to illicit drugs in the United States is more than $600 billion a year. Drug addiction is a major problem in the United States. But what is addiction? Not the definition, but what happens in the brain. Dopamine, the mesolimbic dopaminergic pathway, and the nucleus accumbens are three key terms in regards to the brain and addiction. If I understand this correctly, when we take certain drugs, there is a chemical in our brain, which is dopamine, that is released from the nucleus accumbens that travels down this pleasure highway, also known as the mesolimbic dopaminergic pathway, and gives us this high or sense of euphoria. The more we take the drug, the more our brain associates this drug as pleasure, which further fosters the addiction. Taking the drug again and again has more than just a negative effect on certain aspects of your life. It also has negative effects on your health. After continuous or perpetual use, the brain adjusts to the excess dopamine by making less of it, and or by reducing the ability of the cells in the reward circuit to respond to this. And over time, this can become a permanent change. In other words, your brain will begin building a tolerance to the drug, and subsequently, you will have to take more of the drug to achieve the desired effect, which creates negative effects on your health and furthers a cycle that I mentioned earlier. I guess the take-home message regarding addiction is that it is a disease. It's not a choice. Just about anyone can become addicted to something, whether it be drugs, sex, exercise, food, shopping, or an array of many other things. Learning moderation is important. As humans, we need to be aware of where we come from, and if addiction is part of our genetic background, then maybe we need to be extra careful with addictive substances or habits. Perhaps we need to educate ourselves about addiction, so hopefully we can all avoid the pitfalls and turmoil that addiction brings.